Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the hottest podcast around, PandaWatch. As always, joining you is Steven Zebrak and
It's your boy Kev Ma. What's up? What's up? Assalamu alaikum to everybody out there.
and happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Hanukkah started Sunday night.
Yo, what happened? Yo, I know the good half in you had a good start to the Hanukkah season. Any good stories?
No, except it took me, I think it was Instagram or Facebook where I learned that Hanukkah had started.
What?
Yeah, I can never keep up. It changes every year. And sometimes it's the beginning of December, sometimes it's the end of December. It's impossible.
Are we going on the sun?
No, the Jewish calendar is just slightly different from the from the Christian calendar. Gregorian, right?
I don't know. You got me, brother.
Slightly different than the Jesus calendar.
We could turn this into a religious podcast. That'd be cool.
I mean, we wouldn't have to. We were just saying happy Hanukkah.
And also with you.
Are you done?
And with your spirit. Now I'm done.
Okay. Well, after that, it's kind of fitting because today's show is brought to you by the word flabbergasted. As in, I'm flabbergasted what I just heard from Kevin, but I'm also flabbergasted from what I heard from the leading Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump.
The Donald,
whose latest sweeping statement says, "I don't want any Muslims in the U.S. that aren't U.S. citizens." I guess
you kind of are not. You're bearing the lead. He came out and blatantly said, "All right, people, I know I want to run and be the leader of the free world. What I'm about to say is about to be very divisive and not politically correct." And instead of stopping right there and saying, "I'm not going to say it," he just says, I don't care. It needs to be said." And that statement was, no more Muslims entering the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, that dude, he just seems to forget the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Absolutely.
So, plus, how the hell is he going to do that?
I don't know. I mean, again, like you said, it's unconstitutional. He can't do it. My question is Donald Trump really trying to win? Because from a sheer just numbers standpoint, the demographic that he's leading all polls with, which is, the whites, there's not enough numbers for him to win this poll. I mean, he might be able to win the nomination, but he can't win if he did win the nomination. He doesn't have the numbers. He's going to need some form of or combination of different demographics to get him where he wants to go. And it seems like A, he doesn't care, or B, he thinks he can do it without it.
I think it's part A, he doesn't care, and the B, I think he's delusional enough where he thinks he can grab all these independent votes as opposed to them voting for Hillary or Bernie.
Do we have data on which way independents usually vote? Or does it, I'm sure it varies year to year on candidates, but yeah.
I don't think there's any real data. I just know that in the past few years, it's very uncommon to see a Republican incumbent or a Democrat incumbent followed by yet another Republican or Democrat. Like, the last time it happened really was when Reagan finished his second term. Bush was elected. H.W. Bush. H.W. was elected, but even he only lasted one term. So Clinton went 2 terms. Then there was W.
W got 2.
Then there was Obama, and Obama got 2. So while it would be studies would probably show that independents would maybe lean Republican because they've had 8 years of the Democrat, and maybe like, well, my Republican side wants a Republican in charge.
True.
If that's Donald, though, I don't see that happening. But I guess crazier shit has happened.
I mean, it'll be really bonkers if the crazier shit that is Donald winning the presidential or even the Republican nomination happens.
Yeah, that
now, let me take this time to say on the PandaWatch podcast, we are not condoning any statements made by Mr. Trump. We don't endorse any politicians, but we do feel the right and need to say, hey man, that's not what we stand for at PandaWatch. As a black announcer and a white announcer, we appreciate equality.
Right. So yeah, and he doesn't seem to. But it's kind of weird though, because part of me thinks this guy is too smart. He's too media savvy to just say the dumbest things ever, but yet he continues to do it. So
yeah, but even just like you just said, you brought up a good point. Media savvy. I want to see what the metrics are that go into what makes the ratings spike, because there's nothing that has dominated the airways, newsways more than what he said. Now, from a media standpoint, it's probably brilliant because he is the meter or the needle that is moving media today. But from a political standpoint, it is out of control.
Yeah, every other Republican in the race has got to be thinking to themselves, like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, I thought I was pretty far right. And here comes this guy snatching up all the Tea Party votes and all the hard right conservatives. And I have to go that way just to steal a few votes from him.
Yeah.
Come next November, you have to then convince the independents or the central Democrats, the guys who would or the girls who would vote for the other party. You have to convince them that you're central enough to be, worthy of a vote.
This would have been a great time to call our political activist Franger or political pundit to get her insight on this as we stammer and stumble through this.
Right.
Because I'm sure she's also flabbergasted with what's going on in the world of politics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think she would be able to explain it. I think it's just he's saying and I hate to say it, but he's saying what the lowest common denominator is thinking in the Republican base. He's got after he said that no more Muslims comment, he had like 3 different white power organizations tweeting out support.
They were like, "Oh, that is the candidate we've been waiting for."
Yeah, Donald Trump
rise again.
Yeah, it's unbelievable when you can galvanize the insane.
But that's beautiful, though. That's the beautiful thing about our Constitution. If you're eligible to have a vote, your voice will be heard. And so I guess it's kind of scary, too, that your voice will be heard.
Yeah, and his voice is certainly being heard right now.
The Donald, man.
Yeah, he's gotten some blowback, though, from some of his conservative presidential, opponents. But it's funny though, because a lot of them are just saying, well, that's not my plan, or like, I don't condone that. And that's like as far as they're going to condemn him, because they know they can't like out and out say that he's a goddamn moron, because they'll lose any potential possibility of getting some of those votes. So they got to toe the line and be like, well, I don't agree with that. That's certainly not my plan. That's a little far-fetched. Like,
they're just dipping their toe in the water. They're like,
yeah, right.
I don't want to do that. But hey, guys, just know that I was in the pool as well.
Yeah, and when you make Chris Christie sound like the most reasonable dude in the room,
You're doing a
you're doing
lot.
something.
You're
Yeah,
doing
Christie.
something.
Yeah, Christie came out and said, "This is what happens when you got guys running who have no idea what it's like to lead." When it's like these, because Christie, I think, used to be an attorney or a prosecutor.
Yep.
He's like, these guys have never gone through the system. Like they have no idea what the law is, and
And it is clear that Donald does not, because Donald just keeps saying, I'm looking at the numbers and I have a good relationship with people and stuff like that. That is just so broad and not to the point where it's like, well, how are you gonna make this wall? How are you gonna keep all Muslims out? How are you gonna do X? How are you gonna do Y? How are you gonna do Z? And like you said, the lowest common denominator, they don't care. They want to be moved. And what he is doing is moving them.
yeah. Well, the lowest common denominator, they're also terrified. They are terrified that because they've had control of this country for 350 plus years, and they're terrified of any outside influence that could take it away from them.
But have they had control though? Like, it's no secret that money talks in America or power talks in America. And not saying that the lowest common denominator doesn't have any money. They don't have that much. I mean, you've got strength in numbers, but I mean, how many of them are holding like an office in their local community, the local government, to be in a position of power or to have some kind of influence?
Yeah, I guess not that many, but that's not the way they're looking at it. They're looking at it as like how many white guys are in the government.
Yeah.
That's their like idea of power.
Man,
Yeah.
makes me bring up that good Chris Rock. We're losing, man. We're freaking losing.
Yeah. If y'all losing, who's winning? But yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think we could spend all night talking about this and we'll still never understand how someone could support someone as far right as Trump. Like we have friends that are conservative and we have friends that are liberal, but I'll never understand how someone can go that far right. But hey,
The
I
lack
guess,
of empathy. But hey, do what you do, baby. This is America.
yeah. And speaking of America, we're going to talk about America's favorite long ass sport, the NFL.
What did you call the sport?
It's long. I'm sorry, man. I was watching the games this weekend. These games take forever. I mean, people knock baseball for being long and boring. Football games take forever. Sorry.
Man.
There's so many stoppages in play that, I mean, to finish a game in under 3 hours would be a miracle.
But I think, I mean, that's what they've got the games staggered from 1 p.m. kickoffs, and then the next wave is 4:10, 4:15, 4:25, and then we have that hour break until the Sunday night game. So it's
Right.
it's almost strategic.
No, they do a great job of staggering the games. I'm just saying it takes forever. But that's just my opinion. I still watch. I still like it.
Which long game did you watch then?
I watched the Giants blow yet another game, this time against their stadium mates, the Jets. And that was bad because they had yet another lead late in the fourth quarter that they squandered because they couldn't convert when they needed to, and they couldn't make a stop when they needed to. It's just like all of a sudden that defense or that offense that they've had for 56, 57 minutes just goes straight out the window, and they're a helpless team. So they're now 5-7, and thankfully they're still alive.
Gosh,
in the NFC East.
The NFC East is just one of those, what do you guys like to call it? A blue collar, tough as nails conference that just has a whole bunch of grit in there. And I would just like to add, it has got a whole bunch of grit a whole bunch of shitty teams. So stop talking about the AFC South because clearly the NFC East is nothing to, hold your head high about.
Yeah, another word would be dumpster fire. The NFC East is a
Yes.
dumpster fire. Oh, that's 2 words. So, but for this sake, it's 1 word.
Word. Meanwhile, in that, oh, sorry, go ahead. You got something?
I think you were getting on the same point. The NFC East had a great showdown last night, the Monday Night Football game with the Redskins and Cowboys.
And by great, you mean good and terrible.
Oh, it was hysterically bad. I mean, I tuned in. I was following on my phone. I didn't really tune in until the last few minutes, and it turns out that was the best time to tune in because that's when all the action happened. But that game was 9-9 until the final 2 minutes. Because when it was 9-9, the Cowboys punted the ball away to superstar Deshaun Jackson, who fielded the punt with some space. So him returning it or him catching it and returning it, that's not a bad idea. Like, try to get some yards. You're not surrounded when you're making the catch, So he runs up, and you can tell if he just goes straight ahead, if he, gets tackled, but still kind of like dives forward, he can get to about the 25, 26-yard line of the Redskins. So they would need to go roughly 40 yards to get into field goal range with 1:45 left, which
put us all out of our misery for this damn football game.
Right. And, they could have done it. They've already kicked 3 field goals before. Cousins has been able to move that offense before. You have decent enough receivers. But instead of just doing that, he tries to reverse the field, ends up all the way back towards the 1-yard line, ends up getting tackled around the 7 or the 8, and fumbles the ball, to which the punter recovers the fumble. Now there was a
add insult to injury, man.
Yeah, the punter didn't give up on the play. Ball pops out, he dives on it, and it was the first time a punter recovered a fumble from his own punt since 2007. So we'll have to ask.
Was that last punter Jeremy Capanos?
No, I think didn't Cap come to the league a year later? But we'd have to ask him if he was ever given the opportunity to try to recover the fumble.
Yeah, that'd be something good to ask. Yeah. Deshaun trying to make a play. I think. What if he was trying? He's got or he had. Maybe he still does. I don't watch it. A reality TV show. So maybe they were filming a scene for his reality TV show, and he had to spice it up a little bit and get some ratings. And he was just like, "Yo, watch this shit that I'm about to do," and just started running all the way back.
Yeah, one of my favorite things too is the week before he cut a long touchdown pass against the Giants, and then strolled across the goal line before he went in the end zone.
I mean, that was
kind of like
pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I probably would have done something similar if I was that good, but I just think it's hysterical. He does that, and the next week he fumbles the ball and pretty much cost his team the game. Now, the sad thing is, the very next play, the Cowboys have the ball. They're obviously going to run to kill some clock or make the Redskins use some timeouts. What's the first thing you tell your running back in that situation?
Stay in bounds, man. Stay
in bounds. Exactly. What does Derek McFadden do? Goes out of bounds. Goes out of bounds. He runs the sweep out to the sideline. Now, it's not a bad play call because he's fast enough where you can get some yards out there. But at the end of the run, instead of continuing towards the sideline, how about cutting it back up inside or giving yourself up and forcing the Redskins to use a timeout? I mean, he's not a rookie. I mean, McFadden's been in the league, what, like 9 years, something like that?
Yeah, but he's been hurt for 8-9 years, so maybe he forgot how to play football.
That's a very good point. So yeah, he goes out of bounds. Redskins don't use a timeout. Next play, you're thinking, okay, they'll definitely stay in bounds. He runs and he scores. Now, if he had just stopped after getting the first down, you could have taken they could have taken the clock all the way down to about 10, 15 seconds. But he scores, and there's still roughly a minute 20 left in the game. So they kick off. The Cowboys get a face mask penalty on the kickoff, and it was already a good return by the Washington Football Club.
Washington Football Club. Ryan Grant on the return.
Right.
No, Ross.
Ross, right. Ross on the return.
Yep.
He has a nice return. The Cowboys get called for face mask. Now, the face mask wasn't called on the tackle. It was called on the defender trying to shed the block near the tackle. So the kicking team, he grabs the guy's face mask, twist, and can't even shut the block that way. Another 15 yards. The Redskins have the ball on the Cowboys 40. They go down, throw a pass to Deshaun, and it's all tied up. But
touchdown.
Yeah.
Look, real quick to cut you off. That's what happens when you're talented, right? You can do a lot of dumb stuff because eventually it's going to balance itself out because you are that good and you can swing the football game in the direction of that you want it to go in because you can do what you do. Deshaun, for all the dumb hero plays that he makes, he also is electrifying, kind of like RG Nee used to be, and he can turn around in one big play. So once they had that short field, you knew that he was going to make a play. There was just no way he was not going to do it.
Oh, I knew they were to go to him. He's too fast. He's too good to just leave out of the offensive game plan.
Too fast, too furious.
Yep. Exactly. Ludo would be proud.
Yeah. But yeah, then the Redskins tie the game up and subsequently kick. Now, this was the dumb play. You tie the ball game up. You've already had one special team gaff. You decide to kick the ball. I can't remember how much time is left, but we're under a minute. We probably got 35 seconds, maybe 45.
Oh, yeah, not much time at all.
Yeah. And you kick it the length of the field to their returner as opposed to squibbing it or putting your special teams in a position to like keep everybody in front of you. Now Dallas has their own impressive return, maybe 25, 28 yards plus, and now they're in business. They're starting at their 38, 40-yard line.
Yeah, they started I think they're 42 or something like that.
Yeah, they only have to go to kick a field goal, and they have Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey ain't missed a kick in a long time.
Yeah, he's been solid.
He's got a foot. He can kick it a long way.
And, indeed.
And that's how the game ended.
Yep, that was great. 54-yarder to end the game. And I couldn't be happier because it means the Giants, Eagles, and the Redskins are in a three-way tie for first place at 5-7, and the Cowboys are just one game behind at 4-8.
And that dumpster fire that you call the NFC East.
Yep.
Who will be hosting a game, by the way.
Oh, that's the best part. That's the best part. Someone has to come to us, and it's probably going to be, Minnesota's probably had the team that travels to the NFC East.
Winnable game.
Oh, of course. But off of one shitty division onto the second shittiest division.
Yeah, just make sure you emphasize second.
Yeah, I said it. All right. No need to get upset.
The Indianapolis Colts had a prime spot to make a statement on Sunday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to Matthew Walker. Happy birthday. Go get a shape up. You need one. But yeah, the Colts, they come out opening kickoff. They kick off to Pittsburgh. The Colts recovered a fumble in Pittsburgh territory, I think at the 20-yard line on the opening kickoff. And They have the first. Here's the play sequence. The first play, they run for 3 yards. Second play, they throw an incomplete pass intended for Andre Johnson. The third play, mind you, you are still in your opponent's territory. The third play is a pass it's supposed to be over the linebacker in front of the safety. Well, it goes directly to the linebacker, never even makes it to the safety. Interception. The Colts turn the ball over right back to the Steelers, and that was pretty much all she wrote. It was lopsided from there because the Colts have one defensive back that can match up with probably, I don't know, the best receiving core there is in the league. You've got
when you have Brown and Bryant, yeah,
and then you throw in Marcus Wheaton just for fun. So you get two kids running a 4-3, and then you have the other kid who is the best wide receiver in the league. And you have Vontae Davis, one DB, and the other who is a Pro Bowler. And then on the other side, you have old man Greg Toller, who gets burnt more than toast when you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, he's still
over and over again. Yeah, he's still in the league, and he can't cover to save his life. But that's where the Colts are. You can't make those kind of plays. And then Matt Hasselbeck, I think the clock struck 12, and he turned right back into a pumpkin because he looked like diarrhea out there.
Yeah, he looked really bad. But hey, the Texans lost, so they're still Colts still in first, right?
Colts are still in first. They own the tiebreaker, and I mean they are hopefully getting Andrew Luck back. It looks like Luck is not going to play this week as the Colts travel to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think the game's at Jacksonville.
Yeah, game's at Jacksonville. And so they've got one more week without Andrew Luck, and he can't come back soon enough because I've seen enough. I need Luck back. I need to be able to have Facebook statuses that say, "In Luck we trust."
Yeah. It's been tough for you lately.
It's been tough. Been real tough, man. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty successful. I mean, a pretty another crazy football week. You got the Pats getting beat at home by the lowly Eagles.
Yeah, that surprised me. That definitely surprised me.
And the Panthers having to struggle for a little bit against the worst defense in the league, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, they still put up 41 points, but you're right. They struggled a little bit against the Saints. Came out on top with the win. So Mercury Morris shuts up for a little bit longer. But yeah, that's about it. Panthers stay undefeated. Pats lose another game. It's starting to shape up. Starting to get close to playoff time.
Regular playoffs or fantasy playoffs?
Well, fantasy playoffs. Yep. Which I am in. And your boy Kev Ma, not so much.
I am not in the playoffs in our league with our buddies at home. But let the record show that your boy is in first place with a bye this week in his work office pool. So we still got money out there, brother.
I don't really care about that one.
I know you don't care, but all I care about is the money. And this for me was, you just hedge your bets. You thought you would like to make the playoffs in both, but if you make it in one, it's a success. Now, I need to win. I have a bye first week. I need to win a game to make sure I get myself into the big money prize, but I'll take where I'm at right now.
All right.
So kiss my ass, bitch.
Fair enough. Moving on from one playoffs to the next. On New Year's Eve, we have the college football playoffs kicking off. This should be a very different format. It should make for a very fun New Year's Eve because New Year's Eve for me is always slightly disappointing. So at least this will be kind of fun. We have number 1 Clemson against number 4 Oklahoma, number 2 Alabama against number 3 Michigan State. We'll cover this quickly. Who do you got?
Give me Clemson to beat Oklahoma and give me Michigan State to beat Alabama. Sorry, April. But that Michigan State-Alabama game is going to be – that's going to be some – put the women and children to bed. The men are going hunting because that is going to be hard-hitting, smash-mouth football.
Yeah, that's going to be a defensive game right there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's actually almost worked out perfectly because Clemson and Oklahoma are both very heavily offensive teams, and Michigan State and Alabama are very defensive-oriented teams. So you'll have the strength versus strength matchups. You know, you have the shootout and then the grind game. And then in the championships, you're going to get a strength versus strength kind of matchup. So
who you like in that?
You know what? I'm going to take Oklahoma over Clemson, and I'm going to take Alabama over Michigan State. So pretty much the opposite of what you picked.
I mean, full disclosure, though, didn't you go to South Carolina? So you probably can't pick Clemson.
I cannot. Yeah, I was just going to say that. I cannot pick Clemson. I will be rooting hard for Oklahoma. And the Alabama choice, a little SEC bias. But also, I like Michigan State, so I won't be too upset if they win. But definitely need Oklahoma to win.
Let's hope that there's no suspensions for any teams leading up to that. That's always a big concern for those coaches.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
They let these kids have, it's usually winter break for each football player, but they don't get to go home because they're still in bowl season. It could be interesting if there's some late suspensions coming down.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. It could obviously turn the tide of the whole, playoffs. So hopefully everyone's, behaves. Everyone takes their finals. And we get some good matchups on New Year's Eve.
And also, one more thing that we have to make sure. Let's hope the referees behave because across all sports, particularly football, the referees are having a rough year. Whether Goodell wants to believe it, even though he's not involved with the NCAA, the referees, top to bottom, are having a tough go at it. I mean, Clemson probably still beats North Carolina, but they got a lot of help in that ACC championship game.
Yeah, I mean, the referees top to bottom have been awful. So,
I wasn't going to come out there and say that, but shit, man, you just threw them under the bus.
No, find me. Watch if you would find me. Goodell would find me. He would find this obscure podcast and say $50 because
that'd be way too much.
I can't afford the normal fine.
I would be flabbergasted.
Man, I picked a great word to sponsor this show.
You did. What else is going on in college football?
And I'll touch on it real quick. South Carolina hires, Will Muschamp to take over. Former Florida coach, Auburn defensive coordinator this past year. He's a good defensive-minded coach, so it's not the worst hire. I was hoping for one of the Alabama assistants, but not Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator. But hopefully he can recruit. So hopefully he brings some talent to the team and they can turn it around. The players seem excited about it.
Oh, those players, they must not have seen the video of him just chewing out a kid on the sideline. So if you haven't seen it, Muschamp goes crazy on the sideline. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that. I was trying to keep it positive, but
of course you wanted to mention that. That's why I'm here. Okay.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I got you, baby. Who loves you, baby?
Well, speaking of things that I know will upset you, the Warriors got their 23rd win in a row against the lowly Pacers.
Okay, chill out. The lowly Pacers, they are second in the East. They are exceeding everybody's expectations, and Paul George is playing at a high level. He's definitely going to win Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, as soon as he stepped on the floor, he won that award. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close. But what's really not close is the gap between the Warriors and the rest of the league. And unless somebody dies, they are not going to lose a game for a long time because they are good. The Pacers scored 60 points in the first half, and we're down 19. Klay Thompson hit 8 threes in the first half, and they let Stephen Curry, who is the MVP, just pretty much have a night off. And a night off for him, I think, consists of 28 points. So, I mean, it's not like he didn't do anything. He still had 28. The Pacers couldn't keep anybody in front of them, which is a credit to the Warriors. They do a lot of drag ball screens, high pick and rolls. They do what is being introduced in pace and space, and the Splash Brothers were on. Klay Thompson, again, he hit 8 threes. Curry probably hit 4 or 5. And then you have Mr. Bogut cleaning up every rebound, and instead of going up, he's kicking it out to find a shooter. And they're all standing behind the line, ready to fire Jack.
Yeah, you can't blame the Pacers for that. 60 points in the first half and you're down 19.
Yeah, but the Pacers didn't play any effing defense. You know the team can shoot, right? Cool. They're probably going to make a lot of shots. But 61% is absurd. I don't care how good they shoot it. Punch somebody in their throat.
So you want the Kevin Garnett tactic?
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to arrest you? No. They're going to suspend you for a game. And it's okay. But this team has just buzzsawed through the league, and nobody seems to care. They're pretty much saying, well, there's nothing I can do. No, there's a lot you can do. It may not be the prettiest, but there's a shit ton you can do.
All right. Your boy Kev Ma calling for throat punches against the Warriors.
Absolutely. Get out of here. I'm not just going to let you shoot threes in my face like it's the main point of the game. F that. I'm competing. I'm tackling somebody because another thing. And I'm biased because I'm a Pacers fan. So it felt like every time the Pacers went to the rim, it looked like they were being accosted. But the referees didn't see it that way, which is fine. But whenever the Warriors went to the rim and there was some kind of touch or air touching Stephen Curry, it was a foul. And I thought that was impressive. But he paid the cost to be the boss. He's an NBA champion, and he's the reigning MVP. So Let's give him the fouls.
It's tough to get the refs to sway their opinion like that. You know, started with Jordan. LeBron gets it a lot. Star players sometimes get the preferential treatment.
Yeah, but not to take anything away from them. The Warriors are fucking good, and if you're gonna beat them, you might have to kill somebody.
All right, Kevin Ma.
I'm not saying kill anybody. I'm just saying
the way to beat the Warriors from your mouth: kill somebody.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, don't kill them. However, don't be surprised if you don't win because they all are alive.
You know who we saw die on the court though? Blake Griffin. We saw an execution on the court.
Woo!
Kevin Garnett just threw down on Blake Griffin, and I'll just say that you need to watch it because it's great. Because it's just like KG was, like from 10 years ago. It was great.
But the best part about it was the dunk was kind of like it was a solid dunk. I mean, he's 900 years old, so kudos to him for still dunking. But it was vintage Kevin Garnett where he banged on Griffin, and then without even being able to hear the audio from the replay, you just know that there was like 100 expletives spewed from Kevin Garnett's mouth. He was so hyped as if he had just won the NBA championship with the Boston Celtics, and anything's possible. He cussed a lot. It was great.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, the dunk, while very good, was nothing that we hadn't seen before. But the reaction afterwards and the fact that he dunked on Blake Griffin was what made it so great. At least in my opinion.
Gotta love it. Shit talk, man. Gotta love it.
Of course. Now, before we move on to the ultimate shit talk, Kev, what happened to the Wildcats? And I'll have to narrow it down because there are like 8 Wildcat teams. The Kentucky Wildcats. What happened to them?
I mean, Steven, do we really have to do this, man?
You don't have to go. We don't have to talk about it too much. I just want to hear from you what you think, or your takes.
I mean, first off, I'm just going to say over their last 47 games, the Kentucky Wildcats are 45-2. I mean, that's just saying. Let's just put that out there. But for the listeners out there, Kentucky went on the road to is it Pauley Pavilion?
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, they went to UCLA.
Where Bill Walton used to smoke up before each game.
Where Bill Walton was smoking weed with he wasn't smoking with the Mr. Wooden, but I'm sure he offered him because that's what Bill would do.
He also wasn't smoking with that Muslim guy who was there before him.
He was not.
Yeah.
But take it easy, Donald.
Yeah, he wasn't Muslim then. My fault.
But Kentucky went on the road to UCLA. They were a little hampered. Tyler Ulis had a little elbow injury, but there was no excuse. Tyler was healthy enough to play. And UCLA just beat them the hell up. Kentucky is a bunch of skinny kids who, when it comes down to it, got beat up top to bottom. They had no fight back. UCLA got every rebound they got, every 50-50 ball they wanted. They dictated tempo. They had the energy on the side because they were at home. And Kentucky just let them push them around. Alex Poythress, you're a senior. You're a senior, and you jump out of the gym. Meanwhile, here comes Prince Ali, no relation to Tatiana, and he just comes down. He took the heart out of Kentucky with a dunk that was maybe 5 times better than Kevin Garnett's over Blake Griffin's. If you haven't seen this one, Prince Ali over Kentucky, one-legged, one-handed throwdown with the foul, and that was the end of it. Kentucky had no production from Skal Labissiere, who is supposed to be projected number 2 in this coming NBA draft. Jamal Murray from Canada, who's supposed to be an assassin, was nowhere to be found until 2 minutes left in the game where he decided to hit all his threes. And I'm sitting there watching the TV, screaming, saying, well, what about 20 minutes ago? We could have used those points. So all in all, kudos to UCLA. They played well, they executed, and they deserved to win. They were the better team that night.
All right. It's good to hear you say that. Good to hear you say that.
And now because of that, Michigan State is number 1.
Yeah. Michigan State to the top. Tom Izzo reigns supreme. Now, before we mentioned that, and while Kevin's working on the last of his drink.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
This is some good. I mean, I would put the sponsor out there, but I don't think they got.
Don't tell. Is it? You would always do the high C orange. Not.
Yeah, look at that. Whoa, baby.
Yeah,
dude, we are like soulmates, man.
That was a high C orange.
Hell yeah.
Oh man,
ain't nothing like that high corn fructose, baby.
Yeah, I'm glad nothing much has changed.
Hey man, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep. And before we talked about Kentucky, we were talking about big time shit talkers. And what a lot of guys like to do is go on Fox News and talk shit about Obama. Now, these are the same guys who before, if you ever talk shit about W. Bush, would call you a traitor and tell you to leave the country. But now they're just running wild because the same rules don't apply with Obama. And
yeah, because Kevin, he's different.
He's different. So, Kevin, could you please tell us what, after you're done coughing over that high C orange,
shut up.
Please tell us what this guy said I mean, just about Obama.
I mean, long story short, my man's name is Ralph Peters, and mind you, he's a guest on the show, and he doesn't belong to Fox News, but Obama is still the president of the United States, so he should be talked about with some kind of reverence and respect. But not to my man Ralph Peters, who, without any provocation, calls the president a pussy, which has to be the biggest case of disrespect towards the president ever. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah, at least in public.
He would never, exactly, in public. He would never call George W., George H., Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan. We can go on and on and on. He would never call them a pussy.
Oh, Ronald Reagan's an American hero. He ended communism.
Yeah, communism. He was in all those movies. We love Ronald.
Yeah.
Thanks for the drugs, Ronald. He went on and just called him a pussy straight up without, it was just crazy. Bugged the fuck out. Like, who calls the president of the United States a pussy on national television? Cable television.
The funny thing, it was like that pussy was able to, what's the word I'm looking for? He was able to order the operation that killed Osama bin Laden. But yeah, he's a pussy.
They would find a way to discredit that too, which is awesome.
He's the authorized. That's the word I'm looking for. Authorized so many drone attacks against Al Qaeda leaders and ISIS leaders. Yeah, he's a pussy. But yeah, what did the Fox News say? They suspended the guy for 2 weeks, even though he's not a contributor.
Yeah, they suspended him for 2 weeks because of language, not for the blatant disrespect. It was just we don't tolerate that kind of language on Fox News.
Yeah, we don't know what a pussy is, so don't say it on our air.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. What? I had something else to say. Like, this is hypothetical, and this is all speculation and assumption. Like, are you saying President Obama, if he's in front of you, are you calling him a pussy to your face?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. And I would love to see, I mean, like, if they let the president of the United States fight his own battles, my money's on Obama beating this dude's ass.
Oh, yeah. Obama's what, like 6'2", 6'3", maybe a little taller?
Maybe, but he's in very solid shape.
Yeah.
Running every day. Basketball playing. He's athletic. He's svelte.
He would whoop on that dude's ass.
And he's probably just a little bit angry at Republicans in general. So he'll be coming in with like a chip on his shoulder. Kind of like Holly Holm against Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And we all saw how that ended.
Yeah, Rousey won.
Rousey won what?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Just messing with you.
Rousey got kicked in the mouth and her teeth almost fell out.
Yeah. I mean, it's hysterical, though, because 8 years ago, if you said one bad thing about W, you were a communist, you were a socialist, you were a traitor. But now it's just, the president's a pussy, and that's okay.
Yeah, and the scary part is, just like we saw with Donald, or we are seeing with Donald, the floodgates just get open, right? Because if nobody checks Donald, he just keeps saying it. And thank goodness that some news outlets like MSNBC and the Huffington Post were saying, like, we're not going to stand for this. We're not going to just let Donald just say whatever he wants. So they're curtailing the way they're covering him, and they're only putting out his like substantial statements, which are few and far between. Whereas now Fox News, I mean, somebody's going to come on Fox News and be like, you know what, Ralph Peters, I don't agree with his language, but I agree with everything he said. Which would go into what you were saying is you're just the same kind of traitor if you're just talking about your president like that. But it's all convenient when it's not our president. I don't know why he's not your president.
Yeah, exactly. I never understood that. But hey,
Oh, he's black.
that's the great thing about, saying shit that nobody holds you accountable for. You can just change it whenever you want.
Must be nice, man.
Must be nice. But anyways, let's move on to a topic that doesn't irritate us as much as that one.
But that doesn't flabbergast us?
It does not flabbergast us as much as that one. Kev, you got to tell me, what song should I be listening to?
Oh, man. First off, just know that there is some new music coming out from one of Virginia's greatest rappers of all time, Mr. Pusha T. He's got a new song coming out. Well, it came out today. It's called More Famous and Rich, off his new EP, Darkest Before the Storm. And the song is vintage Pusha T with a lot of bravado, a lot of in-your-face rap bars, and all that good stuff. Production by Boy Wonder with The Dream on the hook. It's great. Again, More Famous and Rich. And he's just talking about how many people out there would just want to be more famous than they are rich. Just want to be seen as opposed to having those coins in their pocket.
So kind of like the opposite of Tupac. All I want is money. Fuck the fame. I'm a simple man.
Exactly. It's exactly that.
I see.
That is Pusha T's version of that.
What I'm saying is the opposite. Because Tupac just wanted the money. He didn't care about the fame.
No, but that's what Pusha T is saying.
Oh.
I'm more you guys, he's talking about the people who want to be more famous than rich.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, listen to more rap music, bitch.
I'm trying to.
That's why I got you. Good for your soul. What about you? What movie or TV show should I be watching?
Well, I haven't seen any I haven't seen any movies recently. Still waiting to see Spectre, the Bond movie. Still obviously waiting for Star Wars to come out because you know me, huge nerd.
Star Wars is coming out? I haven't heard anything about it.
Oh yeah, 10 short days until Star Wars comes out. Come on, man. That's the Imperial March. You don't want to be on the side of the Imperials. The Empire. Anyways,
that's what Fox News starts off with.
A new show I got turned on to by you, actually, the Carmichael Show.
The Jared Carmichael Show.
The Jared, is that what it's called?
No, it's the Carmichael Show.
Yeah, I was about to say it's the Carmichael Show with one of our favorites, David Allen Greer.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, but I've only seen one episode, but it was a strong episode. So there's 6 episodes available on Hulu right now. Now the beauty of Hulu is you don't really know what network each show is on. You kind of forget. I think Carmichael Show is USA, NBC, something like
USA, he is NBC, man. Don't you dare sell that man short.
I'm just saying USA is owned by NBC, so what's
is USA owned by NBC?
Yeah, man, they bought the rights like years ago, I thought.
Oh man. We'll probably do some fact checking after that before Steven just starts spewing illogical information out there.
You know how I know NBC bought USA?
How you know?
Do you remember the Conan O'Brien Walker Texas Ranger Lever of Fun?
Yeah, he stopped doing it.
Yeah, he stopped doing it because he's not on NBC anymore.
No, he stopped doing it while he was on NBC.
Yeah, because you can't do it all the time.
Are you sure? They did it every other episode.
It was great, too.
Yeah, I loved it. You know what the best one is?
The Haley Joel Osment one?
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. Fans, if you guys haven't seen that one, let me just tell you. It is worth a quick YouTube search. Haley Joel
Walker's, yeah,
Osment and the Conan O'Brien. It's beautiful.
yeah. Walker says I have AIDS.
We're not laughing at the AIDS part. Oh man, it was great.
I'm laughing at the AIDS part, but yeah,
That's because you're an asshole.
yeah. Anyways, the Carmichael Show is good. Watch it. I think there's 6 episodes on Hulu right now. Definitely worth a look. See, get it while it's hot. Now another NBC show that we all always love, Saturday Night Live. New episode last week with Ryan Gosling and Leon Bridges. Right, that was the
Leon Bridges. Yeah,
yeah,
he was actually pretty good. Leon Bridges, that is.
yeah.
He puts you in the mind of, was that Back to the Future 1 or 2 when they sing when he's in the rock band?
I'm waiting for you to figure it out on your own.
Is it 1 or 2?
It's 1 where he's in the rock. Well, I mean, yeah, it's 1.
Yeah. Yeah, think about when Michael J. Fox steals the show from the black guys like a true white guy.
Of course.
Of course. He's like, hey, man, let me steal rock and roll from y'all. Y'all don't mind, do y'all? Yeah, Leon Bridges, he sounds exactly like that. It was pretty cool. Cool to see sounds, come back that were famous once upon a time.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was a good episode. I thought Gosling was a good host because he just seemed like he genuinely wanted to be there and he wanted to be involved in every skit.
It was by far the best SNL this season.
Yeah, it was a good one. The Kate McKinnon, she's a beast.
Oh yeah,
the alien abduction thing was just absurd. It's hysterical.
Yeah, that girl has talent. Shout out to Kate.
Yeah. A few other skits in there I liked. I liked the like I guess it was it the digital short with the Santa Claus?
Yeah,
Santa Claus one.
I guess maybe they've gone away from calling them digital shorts, but it felt like
yeah.
it.
Anyways, Ryan Gosling and Vanessa Bayer play a couple at a Christmas party that actually still believe in Santa, even though they're like in their 30s, which was a nice little twist. Not really a twist, but it was a fun skit. And then Gosling was on Weekend Update as well. I always like it when the hosts do Weekend Update. I never understood why more hosts don't do Weekend Update. Like I'm not talking about the whole segment, but why they don't play like a character on Weekend Update? It seems like a long time for the host to not do anything. But
yeah, I agree.
He was on there with Bobby Moynihan. And yeah, it was a good episode.
It was a very solid episode. We are doing a horrible job of making you guys want to watch it. However,
I mean,
you should.
I can't describe everything on there. Yeah.
Well, Steven, I'm flabbergasted with this long pause you got going on, man.
No, I was waiting for you to talk about what skit you liked.
Oh, well, I liked I only know her name as Little Baby 80. She has a real name, but
yeah, yeah.
What is her name? Abby?
No, it's still 80, or it's like Aiden or 80, but I can't remember her last name.
Ryan Gosling plays a dad to one of 80's like junior high friends, and she is just the outspoken 13-year-old who's making several inappropriate passes at Ryan Gosling, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a good one.
One highlight was whatever his name is, Mr. Gosling. People call me a dirty girl, and like my 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 mom allows me to bathe by myself, but she doesn't know I just pee in there and then I come out.
Yeah, that's great. Sometimes I just go pee in there and I come right out.
Yeah, and I come right out, and then Cicely's like, "You are dirty," The whole class got ringworms because of you. It was good.
Yes. So go watch it. Don't let us butcher it for you.
Go, 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 go.
Yes. And I think that's all we got for him, right, Kev? We got anything else for him?
That is it.
All right. Well, please be sure to follow us on Facebook. We're getting that page up. We're going to start
Page is going
ramping
live
up.
soon.
Yeah, we're going to start ramping up our annoyance of our audience. And please email any suggestions, comments, or fuck yous to the PandaWatch Podcast at gmail.com. We will honestly look at every email you send us because we get so many.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Steven will read them all.
I will definitely read them all. So follow us on Facebook and then email us with any suggestions, tips, or stuff you'd like to hear on the show. You know, we like to cater to our audience.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, we need help with topics because then we're doing a good job of talking about what we like. And
Exactly.
I know what I like, but I would like to know what you like.
Anyways, until next time, with love, I'm Steven Zebrak.
Your boy.
Kev Ma.
Well, Steven, say something, man.
I was waiting for you to say your line.
Have to. My line is after your line.
That's what I'm saying. With
you didn't
love.
Say, oh, that's your sign off with love. I thought you said you didn't see Spectre.
I didn't see it.
Take it easy then, James Bond. All right, peace, love, and chancletas.